Hey, it's Lo. Thanks for joining me today on Women Who Make. This is a creative podcast for creative women by creative women. And today I am just sitting here working on a project, and I would ask you to join me, get something to drink, get a snack, or get something you're working on, and let's just hang out for a little bit and talk about a few things. Because it's the beginning of a new year, and a lot of people are reevaluating their business structures, or if you're a creative person who's been thinking about making your creative process your actual income or, your job, you got to think about how you're going to price yourself, and all of those things are dependent on working your way out of imposter syndrome. Because if you're a creative person, chances are that you've had at least one moment, if not a lot, where you're like, who told me I could do this? It's like when I brought my daughter home from the hospital, even though I had made a living for over 10 years as a full-time nanny, caring for and raising children, I still got in the car with her and I was a little bit nervous. Like, we're allowed to just take her home? Like, who said that that I could do this? So sometimes it's like, who gave me permission to be an artist? Who decided that my work was actually worth money, worth spending money on? Where is the adult who's actually supposed to be in charge of this and telling me what to do? And listen, I would love to tell you that imposter syndrome just magically disappears once you hit a certain level of success or years in business. But unfortunately, it just sort of shapeshifts, and you'll go from, I'm not good enough to charge money for this, to, oh wow, people are actually paying me. What if I'm actually terrible and people find out? I promise you, even the most successful creators have moments of, what am I doing? The difference between them and you right now is they're not letting it stop them, okay? The secret to confidence isn't actually knowing everything you're doing at all times and being the best at it. It's just deciding that you belong in the room and you belong a chance to try, okay? Another thing that's great to do is to keep the receipts, all right? The actual solid, hard, evidentiary proof that you know what you're doing. Save things that people have said to you about your work, like screenshot them, put them in a folder on your phone. Keep track of projects that you have just knocked out of the park. And when your brain starts to, hit you with that, you're not that good, you have a folder full of cold, hard proof that not only do you like what you do, but other people do too, okay? And remind yourself of that whenever you need to. Stop pricing based on your feelings, okay? They are liars. You feel like your work isn't worth much, and that's just not the truth, okay? That is anxiety, that is imposter syndrome, dressed up as something else. Okay, your worth is based on your skill, your experience, and industry standards, okay? Not on whether you personally think you're worthy of it today. Because you could not feel like that yesterday, and then you'll feel like it tomorrow. You cannot rely on your feelings about your work. I mean, you have to have pride in your work, and you should. But you can't put a value on it in that way, okay? The next part, do the math. Don't self-sabotage. Do your math. If you are running a creative business, your prices should not just be based on vibes, okay? You have to factor in your time, your materials, your expenses, taxes, and profit also. Because if you're only charging enough to survive and cover your bases, congratulations, you just opened a very exhausting, very underpaid hobby store, essentially. You also have to charge like a confident person, even if you aren't one yet. You ever notice how some people with lackluster talent have no problem charging premium prices, okay? Meanwhile, actually skilled, dedicated artists who are in it for the love of the art are over here like, oh, I don't know, it's 20 too much. Stop that, okay? Price your work like a mediocre man would, okay? Also, accept that not everyone is going to be your customer. Someone will always think that your prices are too high. That doesn't mean that they are. It just means that that person isn't your audience, okay? Target the people who do value you, they value your work, instead of trying to convince the ones who don't see it that you're worth it. You're wasting your time with those people. they're just not they're not for you. And that's fine. There is somebody out there for everybody in relationships, in business, in friendships, whatever. Let them find that person. Don't waste your energy trying to prove your value to someone who's not going to see it. Another thing, we have to normalize talking about money in creative businesses, around other creatives who are going through the same thing. So many creatives lowball themselves because they have no idea what to charge. And people don't talk about it. Talk to other artists. It's taboo sometimes, but research pricing. Stop acting like money made through art is a dirty little secret, okay? The more we share knowledge, the harder it is for imposter syndrome to make us all sit in a corner and be quiet and convince us that we're making everything up, okay? So, yeah, imposter syndrome is a liar. Your work is worth more than you think, so much more than you think. And if you have been hesitating to price your work or to raise your prices, this is your sign, okay? Consider me your friendly neighborhood hype lady telling you to stop undercharging yourself, okay? Did you get anything done on your project? I got a little bit. So now it's your turn. Tell me, what is the wildest, most unhealthy, unhinged reason that your brain has ever given you about why you shouldn't charge for your work or charge more, okay? Let's just share those and laugh together at the collective nonsense. All right, go finish your project.